AEW commentator Tony Schiavone has hyped up Tony Khan's historic gift that's going to be bestowed on WWE Hall of Famer Sting tonight live on AEW Dynamite. Details on that, plus WWE announced today a premium live event coming to Berlin, Germany next year. Also reportedly their plans to have Backlash in Paris, France, as well as WWE's global expansion of their premium live events continues. Rob Van Dam reveals he was unbooked from WrestleMania 40 after his recent AEW appearances, an update on Bobby Roode's status as a WWE producer, and also news on how WWE Royal Rumble landed in St. Petersburg, Florida. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, I have plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite, because Tony Khan, the AEW president, CEO, general manager, and head of creative, has a gift for Sting, but there might be way more to this than meets the eye, because Tony Schiavone has hyped up the announcement, hyped up the segment as historic ahead of Dynamite this evening. Now, last week, WWE Hall of Famer and current AEW star Sting announced he will have his retirement match at AEW Revolution 2024. The pay-per-view event does not have an announced date or location just yet, but the last three Revolution events took place in the first weekend of March. In the wake of the Icon's historic decision, AEW President Tony Khan is set to give the legend a special gift on tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite on TBS. So several people were wondering, well, what's this gift going to be? Well, certainly intrigue has gone from here to here after the latest episode of AEW Control Center on YouTube, because on said episode of Control Center, AEW commentator Tony Schiavone shed some light on what fans can expect from Khan's present to the Icon. Schiavone said, quote, Tony Khan now says he has a very special gift for Sting that he'll present to him tonight, he stated. This will be a historic gift. Yes, I said historic. Nothing like this has ever happened to a wrestler in pro wrestling, so stay tuned for that tonight, end quote. Now, when considering the kind of historic gift Khan would be bestowing on Sting, a fan's imagination can run in many directions. Could it be a historic title that he once held or was given to him for his collection? Could it be a classic robe that he thought had been lost to the ages? Or could Khan offer something intangible like an opportunity, a world championship match perhaps as well? The idea of Sting being offered the chance for his final match to be for the AEW World Championship certainly perks one's ears. During his time as a signed AEW talent, the face-painted grappler has never even vied for a singles title, let alone had a one-on-one match, which is a little crazy to think about. The chance to go out on top as the champion is certainly an enticing one, and the promo exchanges with MJF could be excellent as well. Beyond a title match, Khan could also allow Sting to choose his final match, who it's going to be against, who's going to be involved in it. Considering their history together in the company, it would seem like Darby Allin would be likely to be involved, whether it be alongside or against him. The only issue with that being is that Darby Allin is currently scheduled to climb Mount Everest next April and will be in the throes of training and final preparation when the Revolution is likely to take place. While not impossible, it would seem cramming in a match at such a delicate time could be difficult, particularly a match of this magnitude too. So I'll put the question to you guys. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think this gift is? Do you think it's just hyperbole from Tony Schiavone that this gift is going to be historic, or is there something of weight here? Is there something of merit? Is this going to be a gift that is truly historic? And what do you think this gift is going to be? Let me know your thoughts and predictions, as always, in the comment section below. Now, a big announcement from WWE today, because Germany is getting a premium live event following in the steps of England this year for Money in the Bank, Backlash in Puerto Rico, Berlin in Germany is getting their own PLE. WWE announced first thing this morning that it will hold its first ever premium live event in Germany next August. Bash in Berlin will emanate from the Mercedes-Benz Arena in the capital city. Pre-sale registration is now available for European fans and those willing to make the trip overseas from elsewhere, although no further on-sale information has been provided at this point. This development comes in the wake of WWE expanding its international dates for major events of this nature, with Clash at the Castle, of course, in Cardiff, Wales, Backlash in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and Money in the Bank in London, England, all traveling away from the continental United States as of recent events. It also marks the second overseas date that WWE has announced for 2024 already, with Elimination Chamber being hosted in Perth, Australia in February, and that doesn't even take into account at least one expected show in Saudi Arabia. WWE is in Germany for a live event tour which commences this evening, hitting Munich, Cologne and Hamburg over the next few days and ending in Berlin at the very same 17,000-seat arena where Bash in Berlin will be held. WWE President, now CEO Nick Khan, has previously teased that the company was in talks with several international cities for 2024 dates, so this may be just the tip of the iceberg for what WWE has planned heading into next year. Bash in Berlin will also be the second major wrestling event taking place across Europe next August. WWE's competitor AEW had previously announced a return to Wembley Stadium for All In, which will occur just 6 days prior to the Bash. So certainly interesting, and a lot of pro wrestling in Europe and big events in Europe next August. But also it looks like WWE is targeting also Paris for a big PLE too. On Wednesday, of course, today, WWE announced an August 31st show for Berlin, Germany, that was being called Bash in Berlin. Well, that show that was being talked about was certainly, it came out of the blue for some people. It looks like we could be seeing another big event because Fightful had teased on Monday that there was going to be a big European PLE. They weren't actually referring to this one in Germany. According to Fightful Select, some internal schedules in the company, that being WWE, also have WWE Backlash listed for Paris, France in the spring of 2024, though Fightful do stress they're yet to confirm that it's finalized. They can, however, confirm that it's been discussed heavily. Names of shows can change until they're finalized, so at the moment they're looking at Paris, France for this spring date. It might be Backlash, it might be something else. Of course, plans can change, but it looks like we're going to be getting Elimination Chamber in Perth in Australia, Bash in Berlin in August in Germany, and possibly in addition to that we're going to be getting Backlash in Paris, France too, as WWE really continues to hit heavy on these international dates. Let me know your thoughts about that too, and if you're going to be attending either event. Now, Rob Van Dam has revealed maybe the consequences of his recent budding relationship with All Elite Wrestling. Well, Rob Van Dam has been a semi-fixture in AEW recently, with another appearance set for tonight's AEW Dynamite in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The ECW legend still considers himself part of the WWE family. For example, not only did RVD seek permission from WWE to appear in AEW in the first place, but he was also scheduled to be part of WrestleMania 40 weekend, also in Philadelphia next year. Alas, things appear to have changed. On One of a Kind, that being his podcast, RVD revealed that while getting an eye exam, his relationship with WWE was put on ice, while his AEW relationship was also strengthened. Quote, I got a phone call. I picked up because it was from the big company, had a little talk, and got officially unbooked from Philly, RVD said. About 30 minutes later, I got another message and I got officially rebooked in Philly from another company. So that was pretty cool. In the meantime, I'm just reading letters, AE. It happened like when I got there and before I left, before I even had a chance to think about the first message. So that's just the universe doing what it does, which is pretty awesome. The reason I don't want to put too much detail on that is because word got out when I said that I was unbooked, and it kind of worked against me because I had someone inside working on trying to do some damage repair, RVD continued, and then I got people on Twitter saying, let's pass this around, man, we need RVD rebooked, and I was trying not to give that much attention to it because I had someone working on it. Either way, different dates, same town, the one is becoming more and more valuable than the other one each time to me anyway. So maybe Van Dam kind of hinting at his WWE relationship may be souring, but his AEW relationship is getting stronger. What are your thoughts now? What are your thoughts on WWE unbooking RVD from a WrestleMania in Philadelphia, his home, of course, of ECW in the past, but seemingly his now relationship with AEW strengthening, and of course he's wrestling for All Elite Wrestling as well. Let me know your thoughts about that too. There's been so much talk recently about a December AEW pay-per-view coming up, and we may now know what it could, and I stress could be called, because AEW has filed for a new trademark. On October 25, that being today, AEW filed to trademark Worlds End for the purposes of live wrestling. Now, this is what the full description says, quote, Mark for World's End trademark registration is intended to cover the categories of entertainment services in the nature of live wrestling performances, entertainment services in the nature of production of wrestling programs and events, entertainment services, namely an ongoing multimedia program featuring wrestling distributed via various platforms across multiple forms of transmission media, entertainment services, namely production and distribution of ongoing television programs in the field of wrestling, entertainment in the nature of wrestling contests. Now, AEW has not announced any event with the title Worlds End. Of course, if we get any more details on what that looks like or what that could be, we'll let you know. However, there has been a lot of rumor and a lot of discussion about AEW possibly having another pay-per-view at the end of December, hence why Ring of Honor hasn't been carried on pay-per-view. It's going to be actually a Ring of Honor Final Battle 2023, that is, being aired exclusively on Honor Club streaming service. Most likely that's because AEW has another pay-per-view booked to which actually be on pay-per-view, and it could be World's End. So what are your thoughts on that name? And what do you think that will look like? Let me know your thoughts about that too. Now, a bit of an update on Bobby Roode, his current WWE status, now working seemingly as a producer. Having undergone numerous neck surgeries since his last WWE match in June of 2022, Bobby Roode began working as a producer at SummerSlam 2023, continuing the role ever since then. While Roode never explicitly announced his in-ring retirement, he was removed from the active WWE roster internally earlier this month, seemingly suggesting the move to a behind-the-scenes role was a long-term one. And now, in a new update from Fightful Select, it seems as if this new role is more solidified than ever, as Roode is reportedly taking on more responsibility as a producer. According to the report, Roode is now doing, quote, solo producing assignments on the main roster, end quote. It was reported in September that Roode had already been producing matches on his own. However, this was for WWE main event program and not Raw and SmackDown. However, now that seems to have changed, with Roode's assumingly progressing well thus far. Prior to producing full matches on his own, Roode had been shadowing full-time producers. One other former TNA star that joined Roode as a new producer around that same time was Nick Aldis, who of course recently received an on-screen role as well as the SmackDown general manager to go with it. So looks like Bobby Roode is really settling into his role as a full-time WWE producer on the main roster. Finally, an interesting update as to how the location for the Royal Rumble next year was determined. For several months, reporting suggested that there were two top contenders to host the Royal Rumble next year, those being Orlando, Florida, and Tampa Bay, Florida. The Royal Rumble, consistently one of the most beloved WWE events on the annual PLE calendar, would have been a big get for either city. In the end, Tampa Bay won out and will play to its first Royal Rumble since all the way back in 1995. That's not counting the 2021 fanless outing at the Thunderdome, which was at Tropicana Field. The event will technically be held in St. Petersburg, not Tampa proper, and the second largest city in Tampa Bay spent a pretty penny to land the show, according to St. Pete Catalyst. Per Jason Latimer, Public Relations Director for Visit St. Pete Clearwater, the tourism organization spent a hefty $500,000 in its quest to secure Royal Rumble 2024, pulled from its tourist development tax funding. Those funds are taken from what visitors pay to stay at hotels in the county, while the VSPC hasn't released a forecast for what they expect the Royal Rumble to do for St. Petersburg financially. They do expect the event to bring over 40,000 people to St. Petersburg and create a significant, lasting economic impact, end quote. It's not hard to see why St. Petersburg fought so hard to bring the Royal Rumble 2024 to the area, as big WWE events like the Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam routinely lead to an economic windfall for their host cities, especially in recent years when the Rumble and SummerSlam joined WrestleMania in running huge stadiums. So a bit more detail on WWE getting a hefty penny. Of course, it had been widely reported that WWE wanted to get to a point where cities and destinations were all bidding on their events, hence why we're seeing the likes of Perth, Berlin, and Paris also now bid for international premium live events. But there you go, guys. It's latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.